This week on Avalanche in San Diego, we climb Palomar Mountain. Avalanche in San Diego is simulcast in Spanish. El Avalanche in San Diego. No habla español.
This week the Avalanche boys go to Uguenga, and try to reach the Palomar High Point Fire Lookout Tower. Will they succeed? There is only one way to find out. And no, I don't mean to fast forward to the end of the film. Although you can do that, I am not your supervisor. I am just a poor robot talking head. Palomar High Point Truck Trail starts at a trailer park along the Highway 79. The trail is about 10 miles or 16 kilograms from the trailhead to the high point, and it varies from a smooth dirt road to ledge road with cool death drops, to ridge road, to tight twisties and back to death drops. The trail is not really a four-wheel challenge, but there are some interesting offshoots with dubious legality for those so inclined. The views are spectacular, that's why the astrologers put a telescope on the top of the mountain. The road from the high point to the Palomar telescopes is not open to vehicle traffic however, although you can see them from over there. The trail starts with an obstacle which is completely unavoidable, at least to the Avalanche boys. Next, we cross the Tule Creek Wash, which looks like it is specifically made for a 1969 Dodge Charger. Unfortunately, the area is closed, and the nature is preserved. After passing a residential area, the road goes through a glamping district. The plots are private, and you are advised to stay on the road. Eventually, the trail enters the Cleveland National Forest lands. The lower gate is closed randomly if the weather is too wet or too dry, or there is too much fire. To avoid a bitter disappointment, check with the Forest Service before leaving home. A pizza is a good alternative for those days, although half of the Avalanche boys prefer hamburgers. In the first portion of craziness, the road first loops around the end of the canyon, and then climbs sharp higher along the ridge side, rising to 3,600 feet elevation. Or roughly a kilometer. If that makes you dizzy, you always have a sturdy mountain to lean on. The north side slopes get a bit cold and darker early in winter afternoons. But then you suddenly come around a corner to a bright glare, and meeting oncoming traffic will give a fun new challenge. After climbing the first ridge, we arrive to a relatively level ground and follow the ridge top for a few miles. This stretch of the trail offers 180-degree views across the Temecula Valley, all the way to Mount Jacinto, however that is pronounced. At 5 miles, or 8 kilometers in, forest rangers are doing their thing at the head of the Cutca Trail.
Nice guy.
This is a hiking trail that passes through the Agua Tibia wilderness. The trail traverses a wide variety of landscapes including chaparral, oak woodlands, big cone Douglas fir, and coulter pine stands. You can meet lizards, snakes, cougars, and also a lot of animals on your hike. Note that park and hike in Cleveland National Forest requires displaying a visitor pass on the windshield. See the video description for how to get one. Hiking is not the only option on the Cutca Trail, you can also ride a horse. Although the Forest Service website does not mention donkeys specifically, you can also ride your ass here.
Avalanche in San Diego, we go finding a hot trail. This time in Avalanche in San Diego, we go finding an avalanche in San Diego.
At 6.5 miles, we come to a picnic spot with a view to the northeast. The trail has been gradually climbing to 4,500 feet on the ridge top. Now we start our final climb to 5,500 feet, or 1.6 kilometers. There are multiple rock slides above this elevation. The rocks are large enough to do damage if you're in the wrong place at the right time.
This time in Avalanche in San Diego, we go hut hunting in a four-wheeling inside a avalanche in San Diego. This time in Avalanche in San Diego, we do wheelie four-wheeling. We go fishing, like this fishing rod. This is not fishing rod. Who says? It's just a hook.
There is a second gate at the intersection of the Oak Grove Truck Trail. The trail down to Oak Grove is for hikers. It's gated off to vehicle traffic. Palomar Mountain is tall and massive enough to have several climate zones of its own. The weather can also change quite rapidly. When the guys left home today, the skies were blue and clear. As you notice, even on this early winter day there is some wispy cloud cover that appears and disappears suddenly. While this is mildly interesting, the changing lighting conditions makes planning the shots and editing the video that much harder. Better not to be a tuber and just enjoy your day instead. For taking those snazzy Instagram photographs, late afternoon lighting conditions can be truly stunning. Fortunately, the mountain is also high enough to just look at the weather from the below, and you have some idea if the top will be completely inside the cloud when you get there. Later in the winter there is often snow and it can be bitter cold when wearing shorts and Birkenstocks. The high point is at 6,100 feet, or 1.8 kilometer elevation. The first High Point Lookout Tower was constructed in 1935 for the United States Forest Service. That tower was replaced by the current structure in 1964. A 13 by 13 foot steel cabing sits atop an all-steel 67 foot or 20 meter tall tower. High Point Lookout is the tallest tower remaining in the Forest Service inventory in California. The Cleveland National Forest last staffed the tower in 1992. The interior was removed due to vandalism in 2005. A security gate has since been installed to keep vandals out. The Romans should have thought of that too. Tower restoration with new glass, cabinets, and flooring was completed in 2009. The San Diego Riverside chapter of the Forest Fire Lookout Association began staffing the tower with volunteers for fixed-point fire detection since then.
This is all we have time this week, and this is the reason.